Gurave Gauri Chanjaya Radhika Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhuveva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dhanavat Pranam devotees. So again, this is a impromptu sort of talk from some questions that I had from two places. One was yesterday regarding a post I did about understanding the statements in some of the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita as well, of our Srila Prabhupada. And as a larger discussion, how we should do Shwadhyay. Shwadhyay means studying of Shastra. I mentioned among the 5 angas of bhajan, Bhagavat Sravan is included, means how to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, it is mentioned in the 64 angas of bhakti that Srimad Bhagavatam artadam rasika shaha, that we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of Rasik Vaishnavas, Rasik Bhavuk Vaishnavas. So those also coming in the line in a chaste way of realized Rasik Bhavuk Vaishnavas, they can also serve Srimad Bhagavatam by repeating the message coming from such Vaishnavas. So the question then becomes, how do we hear Srimad Bhagavatam? So first, I think I mentioned maybe regarding another topic some time back, hearing will be different in different persons because hearing is adhikara related. So how you will hear something will depend on your adhikar. And just as a mundane example, applying adhikar to auto mechanics. If someone will try to explain to me, in particular, what is the nature of a Hemi engine. So hopefully I'm not making confusion here because maybe many people don't know about Hemi engines and so forth. But if someone was to speak to me about Hemi engines, then it would not resonate with me very much because I don't know so much about auto mechanics, nor about the design, nature, quality of engines. My totality of experience with these things is basically around getting in the vehicle to do some service by going from one place to another. So in the same way, if someone else who is very steeped in auto mechanics hears about a Hemi engine, then it will resonate with them in a different way. So hearing is always going to be something adhikar specific, especially when it comes into the matter of dealing with transcendental subject matters, which are not even materially calculable. You cannot, by mental arrangement or intellectual arrangement, understand necessarily, in its higher sense, the nature of spiritual topics or spiritual subjects. The actual revelation of spiritual subjects comes from the combination of grace and practice. The practice of sadhan bhajan life and the kripa of Guru Parampara, ultimately Srimati Radhika and Krishna Mahaprabhu, the bestowal of that grace becomes the 2 factors which give revelation in the heart of the nature of spiritual subject matters. Because it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakasha Savasha Yog Maya Samavrita. Bhagavan reserves the right to be covered, and you cannot forcibly uncover the nature of absolute truth in any of its aspects by intellectual force. Yes, I'm intelligent enough, I feel qualified, it's been confirmed by Oxford, Harvard, Yale, etc. So therefore, by the nature of that intellectual recognition, I demand entrance into the mysteries or the nature of topics in Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, etc. That's not how things work. The actual revelatory power comes from Bhakti Shakti itself. So that combination of practice, which invokes Kripa, is the basis under which revelation takes place. So when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, or we're doing Seva as Bhagavat Shravan to Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to hear in the mood that is gleaned from the Kripa coming in Parampara. We have to be in a constant meditation of invoking that Kripa, because that is the only revelatory power that we have access to, which is to invoke Kripa. Because we say this word a lot, that something is achintya. But what does achintya mean? We just translate, it's inconceivable, you can't figure it out. But achintya literally means, chintan means to contemplate something. Achintya means something beyond the power to contemplate it. It has to be revealed by its own nature. And the nature of these subject matters is that they are transcendental internal energy, antaranga shakti of Bhagavan. So only that shakti can reveal to us the nature of itself. And therefore our study, our hearing of Bhagavatam is always an invocation. The activity is an invocation for the descent of Kripa. So that's one thing. Secondly, we have to apply intelligence in the sense of understanding where intelligence should be seated to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe the proper couching of that idea. Where should I sit my intelligence? Intelligence is also given by Bhagavan, but where should I sit that intelligence in order to make it available to the revelatory power coming from the Antaranga Shakti? Where should I situate that intelligence? Because we've already described that intelligence has no access of its own nature and energy to enter into that subject matter, so it's only dependent on revelation. Where should I sit that intelligence while reading Srimad Bhagavatam? We should put our intelligence in the position to understand what is manifest, because the nature, just like, I'm giving an example to make my point clear. The nature of Krishna's roop is inconceivable to the conditioned soul. But what does Bhagavan do out of his causeless mercy? He manifests the Acha Vigraha. He puts in the purview of our senses an ability to conceive that transcendental roop by manifesting the Acha Vigraha. So similarly, if we will sit our intelligence at the feet of the nature of Srimad Bhagavatam by understanding 6 things. It is called vichara, understanding 6 things. What is the upakram? What is the opening statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Because this opening statement, which is called the Namaskar Atmaka verse or invocation, will give indication of what this Srimad Bhagavatam is about and what it's meant for. Then, in the second verse, the Vastu Nirdesh Atmaka verse, means the definition verse, it will tell us clearly where to be situated to hear what was discussed in that first verse. What's in the first verse is that the Srimad Bhagavatam is going to speak about Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojan. How? Because Janmadya Shyayata Anvayat Itarachasta Artishu Abhigyaswarat. So it will establish that Janma Adiras, that the highest goal, which is the goal for which we are seeking, Krishna Prem, not just Krishna Darshan, not just the spiritual world for Mukti, Salokya, Sarupya, etc. We're looking for Krishna Prem. So that rare Krishna Prem is going to be revealed in this book. But it requires that you situate yourself in relationship to Bhagavan in order to understand and be available for the descent of this transcendental knowledge. Therefore, Janmadhyasya also means that from which the entire creation, which you are situated in, where that has come from, is the absolute truth. So it is worthy of your contemplation and meditation. Satyam Paramadhimahi. It is worthy of your meditation and practice because it is the absolute truth. And first recognition of that absolute truth, it is Janma Yasha Yata. It is the place from which the entire creation has come. Understand? And I am situated in this creation, and therefore the genesis of this creation, including the genesis of myself, etc., lies in this absolute truth. Who is that person? Oh, they are Abhigyaswarat. Abhigyaswarat means that person who is independent, who has no cause of their own existence. So in Brahma Samhita it's made clear, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Savakarana Karanam. Govinda, Shri Krishna, Bhagavan, he is Swarat, he is independent because there is no origin to him. He is the cause of all other causes. So therefore I am a reflection of a cause. You understand? I'm the result of a cause. That's the genesis of that cause. So it immediately establishes a relationship of worshipper and ideal of worship, the object of worship. Srila Jiva Goswami couches this in Paramatma Sandarbha as Paramatmaika Seshitva. Seshitva means, it means remainder. Sesh means remainder, but it means the final aspect of the Jiva Shakti coming from the Paramatma is Sesh Tattva. Seshayi Tattva, or the worshipable, is Paramatma. The worshipper is Sesh, or the Jiva. You understand? So, by understanding this first verse of Bhagavatam to mean, I am the worshipper based on the genesis of this creation, of which I am part, coming from the worshipable objective. You understand? When that's established, that sambandha is established, which is the constitutional sambandha, then the Visesh sambandha can be established. If there is no sambandha that I am the servant of Krishna, Dasa Bhuti Harieva, Nanyasha Eva Karachana. If this is not established, the constitutional nature of being the Das of Krishna, how will it be possible to understand the Visesh Sambandha Gyan? I am the Das of Krishna in a specific way. Understand? So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in that first verse, both things are given. I am constitutionally the Das of Krishna, who's the generator of this entire creation, including myself, and specifically, if I'm understanding according to maturation in Adhikar, that I have a specific sambandha or relation in relation to Janma Adiras, which means Krishna praying, especially Sringara Rasa. But here Sringara Rasa will mean the seat of all Ras, because in Ramananda Samvad it is mentioned, just as the earth is the repository of all the preceding elements, Sringara Rasa is the seat of all other rasas. Those rasas function differently and may be compatible or incompatible in Leela, but the seat of all rasa is in Sringara Rasa or Adiras. Understand? So that's established. So now in the second verse, it can define what is Srimad Bhagavatam. Dhamma Projita Kaitavatra. It is Praujita. It is uprooting and removing any other consideration except Param Dharma. You understand? It is rooting out any other kind of Upadharma, any other kind of Kaitava Dharma. The word Kaitava being used here, I've explained before, because Kaitava and Dharma is really an oxymoron. You can't say Dharma is cheating. You understand? If it's real Dharma, right? But he's saying here, Vyasadevji is saying, in relation to this absolute truth of the Adiras, Krishna praying, any other consideration that does not lead you to that conclusion is cheating you of what real Dharma is. In a sense, it says, Nard, he gave some loving chastisement to Vyasdev Ji by telling him, you've compiled all Vedic Sastras, Purans, Mahabharata, all these things, but without having described the nature of those things related to Krishna Prem, you've also given encouragement for people to use Sastra as a means to advance their own self-interest in the form of Artha, Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. Understand? So anything that does not lead ultimately to the goal of Krishna Prem is considered Kaitava Dharma. And all Kaitava Dharma in Srimad Bhagavatam is kicked out. Therefore, who is Srimad Bhagavatam actually meant for? Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramano Nimatsaranam Satam. Those Satam who's come to the platform of Sarutva, means they are having the quality of sadhu. Right? For them, Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. They are not only sadhu, but Nirmatsarya. They have no self-interest, because the root of Matsarya or envy is self-interest. You understand? It doesn't just refer to gross idea of enviousness. I wish I had what you had or something. Here, Matsarya means essentially all self-interest. One may become envious of one's own self. Well, I only accomplished this much, and I see I have potential to accomplish this much, so I put myself in competition with myself to get to that next thing. And so in this way, self-interest becomes the driving force of Matsarya. I hope that was a clear example. Right? Sometimes people disparage themselves based on not having achieved what they think they should have achieved. And so you put yourself in competition with yourself. You understand? People undergo great austerities and everything in order to balance out that sort of, not really schizophrenic, but that sort of self-battle. That I'm fighting myself as I am to be myself I think I should be. You understand? So self-interest doesn't just apply to looking at others, but it's even self-inflicted. You understand? So here Bhagavatam is saying all kinds of self-interest are removed. By saying that, it indicates that if there's no self-interest, what is left? If I have no interest in the self, what is left? So then it goes on to say that actually the real self-interest, right? All false self-interest is gone, but there is a real self-interest. The real self-interest is unknown to most people. Arnato pasamam sakshad bhakti yogam zirhoksaja lokasha janate lokasha agyanatam vidvams chakra sattva samitam. I'm writing this book, right? This is also in first canto, Bhagavatam. I'm writing this samhita in order to enlighten lokasha, those people of Vidvam who don't know that anato pasamam sakshad, all of the different material problems that they're going through and everything else, they're superfluous. They're not really part of you. So I'm writing this to let you know, Bhakti Yogam Zarhoksaja, that this book is written in order to create Bhakti Yog. Yog means union or connection. Connection with Bhakti. Bhakti means praying. Understand? Because the personification of Bhakti, Bhakti Devi is the Angsa of Srimati Radhika. And Srimati Radhika, what is her sarup? Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Parmakastana Mahabhav, Mahabhav Sarupini Shri Radha Takarani. So the ultimate goal of the Srimad Bhagavatam is to establish that Prem and establish our self-interest in its highest form is having no interest other than the seva of the Anukul for Sri Krishna Srimati Radharani. Right? What is this? Anya abhilasita sunya. Jnana karmadi anavritam. Whatever jnana or activity doesn't cover that one allowed desire. Because anya abhilas sunya. All other desires except that one desire, which is the pleasure of Radha Krishna, that should be sunya. That should be removed. And any karma, jnana, adi, means and anything else should not cover the one desire we do have access to, which is in our best self-interest, which is that unalloyed, pure service to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. Okay? So Srimad Bhagavatam, back to our point, is written to establish this purpose. And therefore, when reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we should seek our intelligence in that position to serve the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam or the study of Srimad Bhagavatam by reading in that position. When the intelligence is seated in that position, no self-interest here, then it allows that the practice, which is an anga of bhakti, Bhagavat Shravan, it allows for Srimad Bhagavatam, which is non-different from Radha and Krishna Mahaprabhu, to then reciprocate through parampara, through so many Rasi speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, Babu speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning with Lila Sukh, Sri Shukdev Goswami. Sri Vyasadev is the, quote, Guru of Shukdev Goswami. And Narada Muni is the Param Guru Dev, technically of Shukdev Goswami. But they had him sit and speak Srimad Bhagavatam. And Vyasji reveals in the Faustuti verse of Bhagavatam, which is the third verse, why? Nigama kapatoro galitam phalam sukamukhad amrita dravya samyutam. The word dravya means like to liquefy something. Understand? So he's saying sukamukhad, amrit, coming from the mouth of Sukdev Goswami, because of his position in relation to Radha Krishna, coming from his mouth, just as a parrot bites a fruit when it becomes ripe and makes even the ripened fruit sweeter. So the ripened fruit of all Vedic cosmology is Srimad Bhagavatam. But that fruit, that ripened fruit is made sweeter coming from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. So it is Amrit. Amrit here has different meanings. One meaning, Amrit means nectar. Amrit means also that which will make one deathless. You understand? So this Amrit Dravyatam has become liquefied. So there's no seed, there's no obstacle. It is completely relishable only. Therefore the encouragement is given. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasayam Alayam. So drink this nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Alayam means, considering your adhikar, Bhagavatam is so merciful that this Srimad Bhagavatam, taking consideration of your adhikar, will become rasayan, medicine, to help you come to the adhikar in which the rasa of Srimad Bhagavatam can be tasted. But one blessing is being given in the very end, and you have to abide by that blessing. What? Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Hear this Srimad Bhagavatam, Dandavats Didi. Hear this Srimad Bhagavatam coming in the parampara of Shukdev Goswami to Sut Goswami and those Rasik Bhavuk Vaishnavas who are traversing the earth to give their mercy by serving the Srimad Bhagavatam through Hari Katha, giving Hari Katha. Hear from them, because then the real meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam can come. If you hear outside of the arena of the type of descent of Bhagavatam through this kind of parampara, then what will happen is you will begin to hear 18,000 verses, 335 chapters of all different kinds of subject matter according to your intelligence, adhikar, what other people have said, etc., etc. And you'll miss that nectarian essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. How it is explaining bhakti at every single word and every single letter. I told yesterday, Tulya Bhagavata Krishna Vibhusavasraya, Prati Shloki Prati Akshare Nan Artakai. Every letter of Srimad Bhagavatam is pregnant with all meanings regarding Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojan of Bhakti. There's nothing else in Srimad Bhagavatam. There's not worldly politics in Srimad Bhagavatam. There's not social construct in Srimad Bhagavatam. There's not material processes of how to obtain wealth, how to obtain material happiness, how to obtain a good maid, a good home, a good job. This is not the purview of Srimad Bhagavatam. Obviously, if you have a $100 bill, all $10 issues are solved. You understand? So we can speak from the perspective that if you have love of God, everything is solved. Therefore it is mentioned, what is this verse? Savakama, what is this verse? Akama savakama va mokshu taradihi tivena bhakti yogena yajata purusham param. If you have all kinds of desires, or you have no desires, or you want liberation, still through bhakti yoga worship Bhagavan. You understand? Because this idea is $100, all $10 are included. You understand? But it's not the purpose. Purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is Sambandha Avideya Prayojan of the absolute goal, which is Krishna Prem. If you will seat your intelligence, as I explained in the beginning, and you will hear Bhagavatam coming in this kind of parampara from Shukdev Goswami, then everything you will see in Bhagavatam will give nourishment to your growth in bhakti. Not just from an intellectual perspective, but it will nourish the actual realizations, because Bhagavatam is also a manifestation of the Antaranga Shakti of Bhagavan. This is why I've often quoted this verse, Satam Prasanga Mama Virya Samvido. Speaking Samvad of Srimad Bhagavatam is pregnant with Mama Virya. Mama Virya here means the Swarup Shakti, or internal energy of Bhagavan. Mama Virya, Bhagavan's own power. So when it is heard properly and from a proper speaker, it becomes the arrangement called prasanga. Satam prasangam. The sadhu is qualified and the hearer is qualified, creates a prasanga. It means a sense of complete association in which the transmission of Mama Virya in the samvad, means the speaking of Harikatha, takes place. That is what gives realization. Realization does not come from academic recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why the verse, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labdya Namerasa Nabhusrutena. Not by intelligence and not by even having become well versed intellectually in all kinds of sastra, and the ability to, in an erudite way, deliver lecture. This is not how Bhagavatam is transmitted. This is the importance of Shukdev Goswami speaking. I made presentation recently giving from what I've gleaned from Guru Sadhu Sastra, the case of Shukdev Goswami being the Lila Suk, means the parrot of Srimati Radharani. Because he's that parrot, and he's appeared in this world for the deliverance of Srimad Bhagavatam, having seen the most intimate details of Radha and Krishna and their Rasa Prida, he's the competent person to reveal everything. And he is completely Rasik and Bhavuk. Bhavuk, because Radha Nama Prachanena Muchita Sanmasiko Bhavet. It's mentioned both in Brihad Bhagavatamrita and also in other places. He could not directly even speak the name of Srimati Radharani because he would become so disturbed, possibility he may faint for 6 months. And he's trying to give Maharaj Parikshit this treasure of Srimad Bhagavatam in only 7 days. You understand? So, it's very important to hear in that kind of line. Sometimes I've heard some criticism in the sense of, oh, what is this Rasik, 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 Rasik? As though Rasik has become a bad word. What does it mean to be Rasik? Anytime somebody will give you this kind of challenge, so to speak, what's this Rasik, Rasik? Just ask them, well, I want to understand better myself. Please give me the definition of the word Rasa. Then I can get some gleaning of what is Rasik. Ask them for the definition. I'm not speaking it here because maybe I should. Vyatikti bhavana vatma yas chamatkara bharabahu viri sattva ujale bhadam sarasar. This is Rasik. Rasik means that person who has Vyatikti bhavana vatma yas chamatkar, who has experienced the chamatkar of the nature of the ingredients of the rasa. What are the ingredients of the rasa? You'll also ask this question. What are the ingredients of ras? Ras means sthai bhav. Vibhav. Vibhav means alamban, uripan. Alamban means ashraya jatya, vishaya jatya. Then it means anubhavs. Anubhavs means both satvik vikar and udbhatswara vikar. It also means sanchari bhav, 33 transitory symptoms. The unique combination of these things in proportion creates rasa. And when that rasa is manifest in a lila, it produces a situation in which ras occurs. Ras means to do the aswadan, tasting of rasa. Those persons who have some experience of that coming in parampara are called rasik. And bhavuk means they should have some relation to bhav. Bhav we should know. Shraddha, Shadushanga, Bhajana Kriya, Natana Vritti, Nishta Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav. This is one thing. Bhav also grows further to become prem. It's still on, sweetie. The altar. Oh, okay. So, this bhav becomes prem, that prem becomes sneha, sneha becomes man, pranaya, rag, that rag becomes anurag, anurag becomes mahabhav, that mahabhav becomes rud, adirud, modan, mohan, madan bhav in radhika only. So what is meaning to become rasik? Rasik means to do first beginning saranagati. This is first meaning of rasik, to become saranagat. There's no rasik without being saranagat to Bhagavan. And speaking, saranagati means saranagat to Guru. Let's speak of Bhagavan. If saranagati is not there, even Prahlad Maharaj told, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Parana Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasya Sakyam Atmani Vedanam Iti Pumsa Prita Vishnu Bhaktas Chinnavalakshan. If you do not do Pumsa Arpita, it means Saranagati, surrender. What is the question of actually even practicing the 9 angas of bhakti? Distilled to 5, and especially distilled to 1, Nam Kirtan. How you can do Harinam if there's no Saranagati? Means giving up self-interest, which again is the basis of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhuji is asking one question in the comment. It's a personal question. It's not really something that you'll answer on the internet, but I don't want you to think I'm bypassing the question also. So he's asking, do you personally taste transcendental ras or anubhav? I am honest that I have not seen or tasted my siddhi, but I've tasted something. Because if I had not tasted anything, that means my Guru Pada wasted so many years with me. If I've not tasted anything, if nothing's come in my patra, it is an insult to my Guru Dev. You understand? Because my Guru Dev gave so many things. So I could say, no, I didn't get anything. I didn't get absolutely nothing. But then it would also be not such a great glorification of my Guru Dev, that you spent so many years trying to serve your Guru Pada Padma, and you didn't get anything? You didn't get any taste for Naam, Harikatha, Thakurji Seva, Vaishnava? You didn't get anything? You understand? Even now in serving the Harikatha given by my Guru Pada Padma, some taste is there. Other than that, during this 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is, there's certainly many other mundane material things to get into. But the taste of seva to the lotus feet of Guru Pada Padma, Guru Parampara, and Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu, something is there by the mercy of Sri Guru. Actually, the converse idea that you'll hear devotees say this, Prabhu, have you realized anything? No, I'm so fallen, I haven't gotten anything. But actually, there is sometimes some insincerity here. Because Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Paripokena Danyasha Krishna Prema Jasan Vitanyate. The real experience of Danya Bhav, I have nothing, all these kind of feelings, come in the maturation of Krishna consciousness. Krishna Prema Ajasan Vitanyate. In the development of bhakti, these things come. So just the statement, oh, I'm fallen, I don't realize anything, it's not honest statement. You understand? Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he will say, Amara Jivan Sadabapairata Nahi ko punya ralesh. I am so sinful, I have not gotten anything. This is a sanchari bhav, because Bhakti Vinod Thakur is Kama Manjari. You understand? Therefore, for him, it's genuinely a sanchari bhav called Dainya bhav. That Dainya bhav has arisen in his heart and given expression in bhajans like this. In myself, I'm not experiencing that. So what I have to do is take the honest approach. My Guru Pada Padma gave so many things. I've tried to capture in my heart what my Guru Pada Padma continuously, not only gave and now is not giving, continuously, my Guru Pada Padma and Guru Parampara, continuously giving their love, their affection, their kripa. Am I chanting now? This is going on 50 years. I'm chanting now. I'm going Mangalarti, doing all these things. Nothing is coming. If nothing is happening, something is wrong. If nothing is happening, something is wrong. Must be. It must be. Something is there. Am I paying attention to whether or not something is there? Because sometimes this is what is called unintentional bhajan life. Unintentional means I know I am duty bound to chant a certain amount of rounds each day. I know I'm duty bound to do the practices like attend the Mangalarti, do your stav and stuti, chant your diksha mantras. I'm duty bound to do these things. So I'm doing them, but my absorption is very much a part of the material world. Ongoing. Understand? I'm not speaking about vyavaharic life. Like if you're working, if you have a family. Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, Antara Nishtakara Bayalok Vyavahar. Where is the bhajan done? Bhajan is not an external phenomenon. Bhajan is an internal phenomenon. So the bhajan is going on in the heart. Antara Nishtakara. There it should be fixed in bhajan life. Vyavaharic life. Oh, good morning, darling. Yes. Oh, how are you, my friend? How was your evening? Oh, my evening was good. How was your evening? This is called Vyavaharic life. Where bhajan is going on should never be moved. That is called Antara Nishtakara. Doing bhajan inside. Understand? Not really also depending who's observing it. Did everybody see that I was at Mangalarti this morning? How many people saw that I was there? Understand? Did they see me loudly chanting my rounds in the corner with closed eyes with one eye open to see who's looking? So we don't want to do bhajan like this. So, and if we're doing that kind of intentional internal bhajan, something must be coming. Because the process is real. Shri Guru is real. Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna are real. Something must be coming. I may be obfuscating its full manifestation. Then I have to increase, improve, make deeper commitment to bhajan. But something must be coming. In fact, I don't think there's anybody who's even listening, whatever amount of people are on here right now listening, something must be there. Because you certainly have better things to do with your time than to listen to me. Understand? Right? I'm saying that in a sense if you have other interests. Right? Why should I spend my 10 minutes even, 5 minutes to listen to this other person? Some people maybe not even know who I am or whatever. Right? Why should I spend 5 minutes? Because something must be there. Because some sukriti fal, some actual taste in bhajan, something is there. And I actually many times when I'm traveling for serving Harikatha, I bring up this point. Because devotees should be very intentional and also be very much listening for unfoldment in their bhajan life. If you're not listening for what's happening, how do we know if something has happened or not? So what happens with a lot of devotees is they just, defer. They defer whatever is there to come out when I die. Right, I'll go on chanting, I'll go on doing these things, but if anything is there, whatever it is, it'll come out when I die. You understand? Right? Right now I'm just okay, whatever it is. I know I'm not a perfected soul. I'm just going to go on doing this Hare Krishna thing. And when I die, all the fruits of it will come. You understand? No, we should be very attentive. What is coming? Now I'm chanting Harinam, right? What is coming? Here it doesn't mean imposition. Don't confuse. Don't take imagination, kalpana, and impose it on bhajan life. I'm chanting, I'll close my eyes very much. Yes, I'm in the groves of Vrindavan, etc., etc. No, we should, don't impose and don't repose. This is a statement I've often made when I'm traveling for Harikatha. So imposing means to forcibly try to take kalpana, imagination or intelligence, and force it into the space of the outcome of bhajan life. Bhajan itself is doing the revelation, not us. So you can't impose on the bhajan life. You have to wait for the reciprocation. This is why Rupa Goswami mentioned, Utsahan nischayat daryat. Daryat means patience. You understand? We can enthusiastically, means with deep intention, do bhajan life. And determination should be there. But patience has to be there. You can't impose on the bhajan. You have to wait, the bhajan will reveal. But you have to be listening. If I'm chanting and I'm not listening, or I'm hearing Bhagavatam and I'm not listening, and here I mean not listening just to the external, I mean to the actual substance in the bhajan. You understand? I have to have intentional relationship with the practices because they're composed of Swarup Shakti. And if I'm listening, then there'll be reciprocation. Okay? All right, Prabhuji, I'll read also your next question here. Let me read the question out loud. Oh, I just lost it. Ooh. Okay, from what I understand, Lord Chaitanya gave Bhakti Lata Bij, or transcendental attachment to Krishna's name, 500 years ago. But it seems hardly one person nowadays has the spiritual potency to give pure Bhakti attachment to others as a gift, like Lord Chaitanya's Leela describes. So a couple of things. One is, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't give Bhakti Lata Bij. It's mentioned, Brahmanda Brahmati Kon Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad Bhakti Lata Bij. So it's explained that the Bhakti Lata and the Bij of that Lata are given by Guru, who is the emissary of Mahaprabhu. They're carrying the prasad or mercy of Mahaprabhu, and they give this. If you want details on this, you can read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurpad's Madhurya Kandambini, and there will explain that Krishna himself does not give bhakti, but rather Paramasvatantra Bhagavat Bhakta. He empowers the devotee to distribute bhakti. And there are many reasons for this. Among them is something called asamya dosh, partiality. But I will have you to, I've given you the reference. It's one literature called Madhurya Kandambini, and it's translated into English. So that's good fortune now that you can get it in English. And there to explain these details of how Bhagavan disseminates bhakti. The bhakti lata means discrimination. Now, excuse me, the bhakti lata, the bij, means discrimination. It's called mati. Savasangamena ratnya anko rupa eva mati. Mati means it's embodied in the pastime of Sanatana Goswami asking Mahaprabhu two questions. Kayami, who am I? Kenamai, what is this verse? Kayami, Kenamai, Jare Tapatrai. Please explain to me, who am I and why am I suffering the threefold miseries? This is called mati. When that question arises in us, which for everybody at some point it did, there was some point in your life when you said, it's got to be something else besides just material life. Just going to work, going to school, having family, it's got to be something else. And that's when that generates a search for a deeper sense of truth. Now, it didn't always mean we came straight to the path of bhakti. We may have read Autobiography of a Yogi, the books of Herman Hesse, Siddhartha. We may have gone through many a circuitous path, so to speak, to get to this point. But somehow or another, that question arose. And that was the genesis, that's the bij. And then the lata is when we come in contact with sadhu. And that ado shraddha, which is part of that bij, then becomes invested in the sadhu, it produces an actual desire to serve Krishna. It's called Krishna Seva Vasan. That is called the Bhakti Lata. Understand? Now, Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he mentions, Malikana se bij aropan, Shravanam Kirtane jale kariye shekon. He says, take the bij given by Sadhu Guru and plant that bij and water it by hearing and chanting. So, this is the reference you may be making to Mahaprabhu giving a bij. He's saying, but who? Malik hana say bij aropan. Malik means a gardener. He's describing we are that gardener. Because Bhagavan doesn't do things by force. So by the mercy of Guru, they've given that bij. That seed of desire to serve Krishna is given. Right? Then Malik hana, the gardener should plant it. Then water it by hearing and chanting. And what we're discussing today as a topic is how to do that hearing and chanting. How to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Understand? And if we hear Srimad Bhagavatam in this way, in this modality, then the Mama Virya, Antaranga Shakti, Swarup Shakti of Bhagavan manifests itself in that hearing. It is the illumination coming from that Swarup Shakti that illumines the chitta of the jiva. And then the jiva begins to get perception. Pratyakshvagamam dhamyam in Bhagavad Gita. Pratyakshvagamam dhamyam. Direct perception of their own self. And that enhances their desire to practice. Susukam kaltamadhyam. The practice becomes very blissful. So this is symptomatic of the stage of ruchi. Understand? Yes, Lord Chaitanya came in the mood of devotee. And therefore he could give bhakti lata. But he's mentioning himself. Prema roshniyas karite ashwadan ragamad bhakti loke karite pracharan. You understand? That he gave to the bhakta lok. You understand? Which means, is one verse also describing Prem naiva goparamanam kama mityagamat pratam udava adayo pietam vajanti bhagavat priya. He gave to all the pure devotees of previous incarnations, like Hanuman became Murari Gupta, Jai and Vijay became Jagai Madai, the Panch Pandavas became the sons of Bhavananda Roy. Understand? So many devotees of previous incarnations, they come into Gaur Leela, and Mahaprabhu gives them a taste of the intensity of Braj Prem. They don't change their Swarup, but in their special dasatva towards Mahaprabhu, they taste the intensity of Braj mood. The pinnacle of the Braj Leela is Ras Leela. So in the courtyard of Srivas, the Srivas Angan, in the form of Nam Kirtan, the potency and intensity of that Ras Leela is tasted in that Kirtan Ras. That's why in the beginning, the access to the courtyard of Srivas was restricted, because it was meant for pure devotees. Understand? When Mahaprabhu traveled through South India, he is giving the prabhav of his bhakti. He's not giving like the Bhakti Lata Bij, the prabhav of Mahaprabhu's praying. What to speak of the prabhav affecting humans through Jarikan that even affected animals. In Ujjali Mani this is described. It's called Yavad Asray Vritti. I'm not going into detail here. I've explained something before like this, but it's explained there. So this is the prabhav of Mahaprabhu's own praying. It reaches out and touches people, and according to their own container, they catch the prabhav of that, and they're able to grow. That is different from getting the actual seed of Swarup Shakti in the form of Visesh Sambandha Gyan from Guru, which is the first the Bhakti seed is also given at the time of Diksha. That's another meaning of Bhakti Lata Bij. The Guru gives Visesh Sambandha Gyan. Jiva Goswami explained that in the process of Diksha, Divya Gyan Miyanta Shimanti Mantre, Bhagavat Sarup Gyanam Tena, Bhagavat Sambandha Visesh, or Visesh Sambandham Gyanamscha. He gives the specificity of relation. So there he's giving the bij, means the seed, in the form of a mantra that contains your identity in relation to Radha Krishna Mahaprabhu. Yes, Prabhuji, for sure. Very nice. Prabhuji, I think I'll have you in the chat here. So, and I believe we are friends on Facebook, so what I can do is I have some services also to do. But afterwards, and you tell me your time of convenience, you could write to me in the inbox and we can speak live. I'd very much be happy to have your association. So speaking of that and speaking of services, I always go over the time. I always plan that I will do this in short order, and this was impromptu. So I will do it. Prabhuji, by the mercy of Guru Pada Padma. So I will try to maybe give a continuation. This is a very important subject, but I think we'll end here for today, and we'll catch up. And Guru Hari Prabhu, certainly, yeah, you can inbox and we'll have contact, and then you tell me what's a good time for you and everything, because if you're living in the States, then it's easier. If you're living abroad, we'll have to adjust the time. But I'd love to have your association to be able to speak to you and share your insights and everything. All right, Prabhuji, my Dandavat Pranam to all devotees here on the phone. Again, please give me your blessings to go on in the service of Sri Hari Guru and Vaishnava. Jai Vanche Kalpaturvishta Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.